California, with its breathtaking diversity, is a land defined by towering mountains, expansive deserts, intricate river and lake systems, and an extensive coastline. Coupled with a mild and favorable climate, these features made California an exceptional place for human settlement both in prehistoric times and today. Long before European settlers arrived, Native Americans thrived across this landscape. At the time of contact, over 100 distinct cultural groups called the region home, making it one of the most culturally diverse areas in North America. Much of their success and resilience stemmed from their ability to adapt to the environment and utilize its abundant resources, with acorns playing a central role in their diet and economy. The vast oak forests of California provided an almost limitless supply of acorns. However, turning this resource into food required substantial effort. The process involved collecting, drying, grinding, and leaching to remove bitter tannins. This intensive labor highlights the resourcefulness and ingenuity of these communities. Despite these challenges, the abundance of food from acorns supported dense populations and the development of complex socio-political structures. Trade networks, featuring shell-bead currency, facilitated the exchange of goods, and archaeological evidence points to advanced economic systems. However, life in prehistoric California was far from idyllic, as signs of frequent conflict and warfare evidenced by skeletal remains with injuries suggest a struggle for resources and power. Additionally, the labor-intensive nature of acorn preparation often reinforced gendered divisions of labor, with women taking primary responsibility for processing, while men engaged in hunting and trade. The Clovis culture, dating back over 13,000 years, represents the earliest confirmed human presence in California. These early inhabitants were highly mobile hunter-gatherers who used distinctive fluted projectile points for hunting large game. Their presence is marked by scattered archaeological sites in inland areas such as Lake Borax and Lake Tulare. These locations reveal small settlements where tools, including unique crescent-shaped implements likely used for hunting birds, were discovered. Coastal regions and the Channel Islands hold additional clues to early human activity. Sites such as Daisy Cave on San Miguel Island, dating back 12,000 years, suggest a maritime-oriented lifestyle. Evidence includes piles of discarded shells, fishing tools, and remnants of boats, showcasing the advanced seafaring abilities of these early populations. Remarkably, seagrass sandals and cordage found at these sites demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of natural materials and their applications. These technological advancements highlight a deep connection with and understanding of their environment, reflecting their ingenuity in adapting to coastal ecosystems. The Clovis culture's legacy in California also includes their connection to early routes of migration. It is believed that these groups may have traveled along both inland and coastal corridors, with some evidence suggesting possible pre-Clovis settlements submerged off the coast due to rising sea levels. These remnants may hold answers to the earliest periods of human habitation in North America, though much remains undiscovered beneath the ocean. Additionally, the use of crescent-shaped stone tools, particularly along waterways, demonstrates a specialized adaptation to hunting and fishing, further distinguishing Clovis technology from other Paleo-Indian cultures. The immense geographical diversity of California offered different challenges and opportunities depending on the region. Coastal communities relied heavily on marine resources, including fish, shellfish, and marine mammals, while inland groups focused on hunting, gathering, and the utilization of lakes and rivers. In the arid desert regions, such as the Colorado Desert, communities demonstrated remarkable adaptability by exploiting seasonal resources like marsh plants and waterfowl when temporary lakes appeared. The presence of Lake Cahuilla, a massive body of water periodically fed by the Colorado River, provided an essential economic base for these groups during its existence. Further north, in the forested areas near Lake Borax, groups developed economies centered on hunting and gathering alongside seed collection. The Sierra Nevada and Cascade mountain ranges posed unique challenges with their rugged terrains and harsh climates. However, even these areas saw human presence, with evidence of small settlements and seasonal resource exploitation. Archaeological findings at sites like Skyrocket in the Sierra foothills reveal early use of stone tools for processing seeds, indicating the beginnings of more sedentary lifestyles. The interplay between environment and culture is further exemplified in the Central Valley, where the convergence of rivers created fertile lands for gathering and fishing. Salmon runs in these rivers became critical seasonal events, with communities timing their movements and settlements to coincide with these natural cycles. This integration of environmental knowledge into daily life speaks to the sophistication of these prehistoric groups. Additionally, the variety of ecological niches in California allowed for regionally specialized diets, with some groups relying heavily on freshwater mussels and others on seasonal nut harvests from the abundant oak woodlands. Around 5,000 years ago, climatic changes and technological innovations marked a transformative era in prehistoric California. The widespread adoption of mortar and pestle technology enabled efficient processing of acorns, which became a dietary cornerstone. This reliable food source allowed for the establishment of larger, more permanent settlements and supported significant population growth. In turn, these developments laid the foundation for increasingly complex social structures. In the Sacramento Valley and along the Central Coast, large villages emerged. These settlements featured communal buildings, trade systems, and economies centered on acorns, fish, and other local resources. Sites such as the Emeryville Shell Mound provide evidence of ceremonial practices and territorial markers, hinting at the socio-political sophistication of these communities. The use of shell beads as currency further reflects the economic intricacy of the era. Additionally, burial practices became increasingly elaborate, with grave goods indicating a rise in social stratification and the emergence of ruling classes. The transition to sedentary life also spurred innovations in storage and resource management. Acorns, while abundant, required proper storage to prevent spoilage. Ingenious methods of drying and preserving food allowed these communities to build surpluses, which in turn supported larger populations and more complex social hierarchies. This period saw the first true villages in California, with populations sometimes exceeding several hundred people. Ritual practices also flourished during this time, with evidence of structured ceremonies involving seasonal events, such as harvest festivals, that reinforced communal bonds. The late Holocene, beginning around 3,000 years ago, was a period of remarkable cultural and economic intensification. Coastal communities, especially the Chumash, thrived by capitalizing on fishing, trade, and acorn-based economies. The Chumash developed plank canoe sophisticated vessels that facilitated extensive commerce between the mainland and the Channel Islands. These boats not only enhanced trade, but also reinforced the Chumash's political and economic dominance in the region. Inland, in the Sacramento and San Joaquin valleys, large villages supported by acorn and salmon economies flourished. Elaborate burial practices including graves filled with artifacts point to stratified societies with distinct social hierarchies. Meanwhile, in the Colorado desert, the periodic presence of Lake Cahuilla created a stable economic base for nearby groups. This massive lake, fed by the Colorado River, supported abundant fish, waterfowl, and marsh plants. When the lake receded, communities adapted by shifting their focus to upland resources and permanent springs, demonstrating their resilience. Seasonal migration and resource planning became critical strategies for survival in these challenging environments. Coastal and inland trade networks expanded dramatically during this time, with evidence of shell beads traveling hundreds of miles to regions as far as Nevada and Arizona. This growing interconnectedness fostered not only economic prosperity, but also cultural exchange, as communities shared tools, technologies, and artistic traditions. Technological advancements during this period revolutionized life for prehistoric Californians. Mortar and pestle tools became widespread, enabling more efficient processing of acorns. Fishing technologies, such as grooved net weights and fishhooks, improved the harvesting of marine resources, while evidence of boat building on the Channel Islands, dating back over 8,000 years, highlights the maritime ingenuity of these early societies. Trade networks connected distant regions, facilitating the exchange of obsidian, shells, and food. These interactions not only enhanced economic stability, but also promoted cultural exchange and innovation. The growing prevalence of shell bead currency underscores the sophistication of prehistoric Californian economies, which rivaled those of contemporary agricultural societies. Further, the introduction of bow and arrow technology around 1,500 years ago revolutionized hunting practices, increasing efficiency and reducing risks associated with large game hunting. These technological advancements were often accompanied by artistic and symbolic developments. Engravings on tools and ceremonial items suggest that spiritual and cultural practices were deeply intertwined with daily life. The creation of rock art, found in several regions across the state, serves as a testament to the rich symbolic traditions of prehistoric Californians. Moreover, the development of pottery in certain areas, though rare, marked a significant step in food storage and transport technologies, especially in regions influenced by neighboring cultures. Prehistoric Californians faced numerous challenges, including climatic fluctuations, resource competition, and intergroup conflicts. Archaeological evidence, such as skeletal remains with embedded projectile points and signs of cranial trauma, points to frequent warfare. Despite these difficulties, these societies adapted and found ways to thrive. The adoption of acorns as a dietary staple, coupled with advancements in technology and trade, ensured their survival through periods of environmental and social stress. Additionally, climatic events such as prolonged droughts or flooding required flexibility and innovation. Groups near rivers adapted by developing floodplain management techniques, while those in drier regions focused on water conservation and resource diversification. Seasonal planning and mobility became critical for survival, with communities strategically moving to exploit different resources at optimal times of the year. Today, the archaeological record of prehistoric California offers a rich tapestry of human innovation and resilience. From the Clovis points of Lake Borax to the shell mounds of the Central Coast, each discovery sheds light on the ingenuity of early Californians. These findings not only deepen our understanding of the past, but also highlight the enduring contributions of Native American communities to California's cultural heritage. As modern Californians benefit from the state's diverse landscapes and resources, it is crucial to honor and preserve the legacy of the region's first inhabitants. Their stories, etched into the land and its history, remind us of the resilience and adaptability that have defined human life in California for millennia. This legacy calls for continued archaeological research and cultural preservation efforts to ensure that the voices of California's first peoples are not only remembered, but celebrated as integral to the state's history and identity.